Hey, this is Robin from Amhans International Responder Development. Yeah, great that you are looking towards this video, and I wanted to put some extra contributions here. I was driving through this floodplain. I was noticed that the water system is quite high due to the recent floods in Germany, and that's all heading down our amazing waterways here in the Netherlands. Well, I'm not a water management guy, but I have huge respect to you guys who are crisis managers in the water area of the Netherlands. It is a work of art what you guys are doing. And this particular video is dedicated to how search and rescue can make the response efforts during a crisis more resilient, and how we as search and rescue can make the whole of society more resilient. So for the crisis managers in general, how to use search and rescue is how you able and how are you and how you are familiar towards search and rescue, how to deploy them correctly, how to use their capabilities correctly, especially those guys who are trained and who have capabilities that maybe are not known to you right now at this point of time. And it's something to definitely keep in mind, because capabilities vary from just working with canines to some teams who have even a capability of being deployed for 72 hours without resupply, which is a very unique capability that, with the right education or right methods and the right certifications and the right equipment used by unpaid professionals, that's only a limited search and rescue capability that something like the military would have. But for the time that takes into account, or that crisis just plays out, there's a lot of opportunity how search and rescue makes the whole of society more capable and more resilient, like a whole society concept. Now, there are a few ways that search and rescue is capable of doing this. Firstly, it is because people in general that come into search and rescue generally not only come from a first responder background. So it's a gateway for people that are coming into the first aid or the public safety area to move forwards to other positions within the public safety industry. So you see a lot of people that really like the search and rescue. You see them either becoming crisis managers, you see them becoming police officers, you see them becoming involved with firefighting. There is such more, so it's a nice entryway for people to get educated and develop response capabilities. But not only that, get the people that are in a response capability already right now on a voluntary basis most of the time to work through yourselves to more paid positions, more professional positions. Then we have number 2. I was doing something with my hands, number 3. Number 2 is the reason why. Number 2, because it's such a gateway entry towards a public safety area, it's easy to give people education. It is an easy access way to make people more self-reliant. Because they get into search and rescue, they start to procure the equipment, they start to procure the backpacks, they start to procure water filters, they start to procure medical equipment to protect and save somebody's lives, for example. They start becoming more physically fit, which the last one is often a forgotten one of making the public in general more self-reliant, is physical fitness. It's not just the general equipment, it's not just the ability to self-rescue. Because people get into search and rescue and are required to be more fit, especially if they get into the operational side of things, this also helps with general health of society. Reason number 3. Yep, this time I got it right. Reason number 3 is because search and rescue is directly responding with full professional organizations. That doesn't mean that a search and rescue volunteer is less professional. It means that they are acquiring to become an unpaid professional. To me, a search and rescue is a voluntary career, as is often called. It's a second duty. It's something that usually is fueling a mission. It's fueling contribution to something, to a higher goal. And when you get people passionate about search and rescue, they, like I said earlier, it is easier for them to become more self-reliant. But it also, because the passion, it starts to spread. When you start forming teams, that's why we have so many decent teams here in the Netherlands that are developing that capability or are working on that capability. And in order to, with proper certification, advocacy, and examination and training, we're able to get those teams towards our highest standard, which allows those teams to be more proficient, and you have them locally ready in your area as a crisis manager, which is a very interesting perspective for you because they generally do not cost a lot for you to deploy because they are passionate about their subject, and it fuels them to become more self-reliant through search and rescue. And because you make these people capable through education and through search and rescue, they drag along their fellow human in their direct environment. So they start teaching, for example, they start teaching preventative programs, or they start helping to realize other people, okay, my loved one is now doing a search and rescue. Maybe there is a point why I should become more reliant, so that we are dragging away or getting rid of the negative idea that, okay, me being prepared is something that is a taboo, because I want to be capable of taking care of my family. I want to be taking care of my loved ones. I want to be taking care of myself when the situation goes wrong. And it doesn't mean that everybody needs to become like the ultimate Bear Grylls of search and rescue or their own capabilities. It's just that we make it possible through search and rescue and through that capability to make people more self-reliant through indirect education. Reason number 4. The way I teach people in search and rescue and throughout NASAR program and through Enhanced International Responder Development, we teach crisis management. So your SAR teams will be capable of functioning within a crisis management organization, and to make sure that they function within a crisis management structure. So because these people are becoming more trained in search and rescue through crisis management, they are able to organize their own organizations more effectively and basically are able to form a unified command, which is highly important if you want for citizens to mobilize themselves and to start forming groups, which then can be attached to a larger crisis management structure, which then you of course can deploy in their planning, logistics, finance, or administration, and operations. Of course, you can deploy them in the areas where you need them. So in this way, it creates a collective effort that is more organized. At least there is a more structure to it. Well, we are a long way from acquiring the ideal. We are heading in the right direction if we are taking such an approach. So we need to make everybody a small crisis manager on their own, if it's possible, to make the whole of society become more resilient. This is Robin from Enhanced International Responder Development. We develop resilient leaders and organizations. I'll see you in the next video.